I hung out in North Weymouth. I grew up on Sunrise Drive. Great Esker Park was a huge part of my life growing up. As a matter of fact, it still is today. I still take walks up there and stuff. But down at Julia Road, where Great Esker Park is, there's a tennis court there. And over the winter, the firemen used to come down and fill it up so it would freeze over. That's kind of my first taste of putting on skates and learning the game. And then from there, I started to show interest, and my mom used to take me to public skating all the time, whether it was here or in Quincy at the Shea Rink, and that's kind of where I got my start. Weymouth, when I was growing up, was a big hockey town, and I had a lot of guys that lived in my neighborhood that actually played at Weymouth North, so I would always be that young kid that would hitch a ride to their games. I would say a lot of the guys on the Weymouth North teams back in those days were kind of guys that I looked up to. I still remember the names till this day, and that's kind of what got me interested more into hockey. I had a lot of really good teachers at Weymouth that I still remember, fond memories of a lot of them, but my high school coach, Bob Dunham, probably had the biggest impact on me. I think he was a biology teacher at Weymouth North. I think he was the one that really started to push me, even as I was, the leading scorer on the team. If I made mistakes, he made sure that I knew about them, and that's really how you improve. My era here, we didn't lose too many games, but when we lost one, we heard about it. So I think he was the guy that really pushed me to try to get better, and I'd thank him for that. And I have thanked him for that before, because if you don't have someone that's going to push you, you're not going to get better. And I just think he pushed me at the right time to kind of get me over the hump. Everybody, I think, growing up wants to play for their country in some form. And the chance that I got to play for the U.S. was phenomenal. It was a great experience, just from the pre-tour over to the Olympics, how well we did. We lost in the bronze medal game, but just a lot of the support I got from the town of Weymouth was huge. I don't think there was too many people from Weymouth that were going to the Olympics back in those days. So I think it was an exciting time, not only for me, but for the town of Weymouth, and it was a phenomenal experience for me. It's every kid's dream to play in the NHL, but your first game was probably one of my fondest memories. And to score a goal in my first game in overtime was pretty cool. And back in those days, we didn't have internet, and I had to call my parents at like midnight their time to tell them what happened, because nothing was on TV back then either. So it was different times, but it was an exciting time, and I'd say that's one of my fondest memories playing in the NHL. But another one was that same year I came back to play the Bruins for the first time. The support I got from the town of Weymouth was unbelievable. If you went to any establishment on Causeway Street that night, you found a lot of Weymouth people with Weymouth pride, and I think that tells you a lot about Weymouth, that they had one of their guys coming home to play the Bruins, and they were there to support them. And I guess my last one would be my first game playing for the Bruins. To put that Spoke B on and play for the Bruins for the first time was a pretty phenomenal event for me.